Jonas, that's going to be a tough act to follow. This is the power to persuade speech, not the visual aids. But I've given up trying to speak without notes in the computer like you're supposed to do. Now, don't start the timer yet because I got to get his presentation up again. He won't get off. There's conspiracy to get it off of you. All right. Here we go. Now I'm going to, well, that's the business tip. All right, here we go. I feel like a dog on a leash here. Wait a minute, don't stop. Okay, the glycemic index can change your life. Does everybody know what the glycemic index is?
Yeah.
Has anybody heard of the glycemic index?
No.
There we go. Oh, here we go. Polly has. Well, you're going to find out the way I did. I'm not going to talk about Darren LaCroix because you've already heard about Darren LaCroix and try to persuade you to get paid to speak in a week. And I'm not going to talk about smile makeovers that we do because I've already gotten shot down for that. What I'm going to talk about is the glycemic index. Now, the glycemic index is an index that measures how fast a food substance, such as sugar or carbohydrates, is absorbed in your bloodstream after you eat it. Some foods have a high glycemic index and others have a low glycemic index. Let's see what we got coming up here. Take cherries, for example. Cherries have a glycemic index of 33. Watermelon has a glycemic index of 100. Now pay attention to the math. I drew this out so it's going to be clear. You following this? In 1 hour, 100% of the sugar in a watermelon that you ate will go into your bloodstream. Cherries, since it has a 33 glycemic index, only 33% of the sugar in that water, and that's cherries, will go in your bloodstream in 1 hour. So if you took some cherries, sent it to MIT, and they put a label on it and said there's 10 grams of sugar in this quantity of cherries, and you took the watermelon and took it and sent it to MIT, and they put a label on it, like our foods have labels on it, and they said it has 10 grams of sugar in it, and you ate the cherries, the first hour, only 3.3 grams of the sugar would get in your bloodstream. The second hour, 33% would get in the next, and the third hour, it takes 3 hours to get the same grams, even though you ate 10 grams. Now let's say your body, like right now talking, needs 5 grams per hour. What happens? When you eat the cherries, the first hour, 3.3 grams go in your bloodstream. The body is saying, well, I need another 1.7, and it pulls you out of the fat stuff, out of the fat cells, and you get skinnier because you ate these cherries. But if you eat the watermelon, all 10 grams goes into your bloodstream the first hour. You only need 5. Where does the other 5 go? You get fat. Now, this is what happened to me. 2 or 3 years ago, my mother came up for Thanksgiving, and that's us at the table. And Susan is here with us today. Thank you, Susan, for joining me this evening. And we had Thanksgiving, and you can test whether this is a true story. I came home, took off my sport jacket, and my mother said, "You're fat." Honest to God, did she not say that? I got proof. And she took out the South Beach diet book, right? And she started cooking a meal for me, South Beach diet. And there I am, plump as can be. And I weighed 186 pounds. And that was about 2 or 3 years ago. I forget which Thanksgiving was. Now this picture over here Oh, and I would go to hot dog safari, and I'd eat Chinese food for lunch, and eat muffins for breakfast, and drink beer, and eat whatever I wanted. And that's what I looked like, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. Anyway, then, this is yesterday morning at 7 o'clock, I ran 12 miles for the first time. I ran 9 miles two Sundays ago. And I weighed, I think, 160 pounds. Now, yesterday, after I ran, I drove out to the Berkshires to visit my mother to practice this speech, honest to God. And she's out near Tanglewood, right? And I practiced it. My mother said, you know, I was reading Time magazine, the issue this week, and it said, why exercise won't make you thin. The cover of Time magazine this week, does anybody see Time magazine this week? Says, the myth about exercise. Getting exercise isn't going to get you to lose weight. And this is a whole article. And what they're saying is, when you eat a muffin like that, and I'm not going to be chauvinistic, but the article was about a woman ate the muffin, and what she would have to do, she would have to fold laundry for 230 minutes. She would have to, my wife mows the lawn, but for 66 minutes would have to mow the lawn just to burn off that muffin. Oh. And ice cream, see that? When you read that, it says 14 grams of sugar, and the carbohydrates is 20 grams in the ice cream. So what do I eat? I got this from the South Beach Diet. I eat regatta cheese, which has 3 grams of sugar, 4 grams of carbohydrates totally. I put a little vanilla extract in it, which has no nutrient value except for great taste. And I put on strawberries, and that's as good as ice cream. Now, that's the quantity of sugar that you eat. Then it's the amount, how fast it gets released. And I don't eat any more of those desserts, only on occasion, but not as a routine. So it's not how much you eat. I eat all I want. I eat tons of food. It's what you eat and how fast it's absorbed. Now for breakfast, and you can email me for my recipe book that I'm going to make. I brought my wife, actually, she came tonight, and she can vouch if any of this is not true. I get up in the morning, after I go to boot camp for an hour. Then I come home, and you can see the Canadian bacon, the green pepper, and I made these pictures for somebody in boot camp that said she was going to go home and eat a muffin, and she said she joined boot camp because she was going to try to lose weight. I said, you're not going to lose weight by going to boot camp. I said, you got to lose weight by what you eat, and I'm going to make you this. I took these pictures of my breakfast, and I basically take all those vegetables, I throw it in the pan, I put the tomato in last, and then I put the eggs in, and I got a big bowl. That's a lot of food, but it isn't going to make me fat. And lunch, I'll go on the lunch, but I want to get to Tony's thing here. And now Tony, this was the corn party. You notice when I went to the corn party, Tony, I drank a lot of water and went to the bathroom a lot. But I didn't have much beer. But I ate the corn. But corn has a very high glycemic index. And it's not a matter of eating corn, going to Tony's corn party and eating 5 ears of corn or whatever. It's like if you eat corn on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, or have a muffin every day, and then make it a habit. So it's what you eat, how fast it goes in your bloodstream, not how much you eat. And exercise doesn't make much difference, except it actually goes into muscle, makes you even heavier. Thank you. Did I persuade anybody?
Yes. You did. You got my attention.
Give me a vote. Did I persuade anybody?
Yes. All right. Yes, you got my attention.